Hi. You're going to go right there. All right. And you're going to get, everybody's going to get 3 blocks, 2 blankets, and a belt. And when you have your 3 blocks, place your blocks on the mat like I've placed mine, 1 on each corner of your mat. What's that? You can either go right over the other side of her. I have 1 spot there, I have 1 spot over here. You're going to come over a little. Like I said, I have to get 1 more person in here. Or you have to pay for the real estate. You have to pay for the extra space, you know. If you want a bigger apartment, you're going to move a little this way because I can't close the door. So you're going to move to about right where my foot is. And Dominga, you're going to move over too. After this week, Dominga is going to be helping you set up. So she's going to be getting here a little earlier herself, so that she can be in charge of this and I won't be like barking at everybody. She's much nicer than I am. Is that everybody? Okay. All right. So like I said, put your 2 blocks at the front and put your a 3rd block close by. Okay? So how many people is it your first time here with me? First time in this room in fundamentals. So we always start with a warm-up. In the warm-up, I don't teach you the asanas during the warm-up. I teach them to you over the 4-week course. You're just going to experience the warm-up. So everybody, come onto your hands and knees. Put your hands on your blocks. Take your 3rd block. Place that block in between your thighs, all the way up in your crotch, as high as you can get it. As high as you can get it. So you want it touching your pelvic floor, okay? Then walk your knees back a little bit, push your arms forward, and then lift your knees up. Come into a downward facing dog and squeeze your block and breathe. Inhale. Exhale 1, look backwards. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Inhale. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale 8, inhale. Exhale 9, inhale. Exhale 10. On your inhale, come forward to a plank. Look at the wall in front of you and push the floor away from you. Squeeze the block. Inhale. Exhale 1. Try to lengthen your tailbone down a little bit if your hips are high. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4, all the way up in your crotch. Inhale, now lower your hips. Exhale 5, inhale. Exhale 6, inhale. Exhale 7, inhale. Exhale 8, breathe, inhale. Exhale 9, inhale. Exhale, go back, downward facing dog, lift your hips up. Now, soften your knees a little bit. Stroll your feet toward your hands till your feet are flat on the floor. Your hands are on the blocks. You can lift your blocks up to any height. Keep your hands about 6 to 8 inches in front of your feet. So you don't want toes and hands back. You want to walk back just a little bit. So you're kind of like a U-shaped, modified Uttanasana instead of a true Uttanasana. Let your head back, your head be heavy and long. Inhale. Exhale 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale 2, try to press your palms down. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Inhale. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale 8. Inhale. Exhale 9. Inhale. Exhale 10. Then soften your knees. Take the block out between your thighs. Put your block on the floor behind you on the highest setting. Step your feet out as wide as your mat, so your heels are on your mat, your toes are on the bamboo floor, and come and sit on the top of the block. Then bring your hands together in prayer, and then press out with your forearms, and then squeeze in with your knees. So your hands are going to be in palms in prayer, and so you're bringing your forearms parallel to the floor. Opening up your hips. It's a hip opener. Inhale. Exhale, 1. So your elbows are going to be in between your knees. Exhale, 2. And your feet are going to be pointed at a 45-degree angle instead of like you are in ballet. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. Inhale. Exhale, 8. Inhale. Exhale, 9. Inhale. Exhale, 10. Now put your hands on the floor. Lift your hips up a little bit and move your block off to the side and come sit down on the floor. Yep. And extend your legs straight out in front of you. Okay? Then bend your right knee into your chest. Place your right foot on the outside of your left knee joint. You don't have to go any higher. Just outside the knee. Where is the knee? Put your foot on the outside of your knee. Then pull your left toes back. Lift your left arm up alongside your left ear. And then exhale. Bring your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. Bring your right hand behind you, looking over your right shoulder. Now move your right hand closer to your hip instead of closer to the wall. Put your full palm down. Don't use your thumb like a kickstand, but actually lift up and look over your right shoulder, twisting. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, extend your right leg out in front of you. Then inhale, bend your left knee into your chest. Place your left foot on the outside of your right knee. Then flex your right foot, pull your right toes back, lift your right arm up. And then exhale, twist over to the left. So notice if you're like on the wrong side. There you go. Switch it around, Mom. Inhale. Exhale, pull your right toes back. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Then inhale, come back to center. And exhale, extend your left leg. Now, bend your knees. Put your feet on the ground. Take your block. Put the block between your thighs on this wider setting. And here again, you want to bring it all the way up into your crotch. You don't want it against your knee joint or the lower right here. You want it way up high. Then squeeze the block. Bring your hands behind you with your fingers pointing toward the center of the room. Bring your chin into your chest. Your feet are going to come apart a little bit. On your inhale, lift your hips up. Make the block, see the block. Then exhale, let your head go back. Look at the wall behind you. Tabletop. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, 2. Feet are going to be flat. Take the feet out a little more. Exhale, 3. There. Fingers facing forward. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. Inhale. Exhale, 8. Inhale. Exhale, 9. Inhale. Exhale, gently come down. Good. And then come sit on your 2 blankets. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? Good. So that's your warm-up. You'll do that every time you come to fundamentals. Do you have, yeah, you can grab 2 of those. Then let's go around the room and introduce ourselves to each other. Samantha? Dominga? Ria? Assembly? Carol? John? Anna? Richie? April? And I'm Austin. And this is week 2 of Urban Sadhu Yoga Fundamentals. Week 2 is forward folds, hip openers, and twist. Forward folds are actually karmically dealing with your past. It's dealing with the tightness in the back of the body. It's dealing with stuff that's behind you. So most of the time when we deal with forward folds are kind of the most familiar asana to most people because you forward fold all the time. Every time you sit in a chair to sit at your computer, you're in a forward fold. Anytime you bend over to tie your shoe, you're in a forward fold. What we're going to do today is we're going to bring a little more consciousness to something you do all the time. But today we're going to start out with a thing called Kapalabhati. Everybody say Kapalabhati. Kapalabhati is a kriya. A kriya is a cleanse. Kapala means skull. You're using that for the wrong purposes, Mom. That's for you for what we're going to do next. Don't wipe the sweat down with that right now, okay? Kapalabhati means Kapala means skull. And bhati means to shine. So this is skull shining. It's not a pranayama. Pranayamas are breath exercises. Like I said, this is a kriya. It's a cleanse. So take your first tissue I gave you, bring it up to your nose, and blow out your nose. And just that alone is a kriya. You're cleaning. But what did you notice to blow out your nose? What did you have to do? Tell me. You had to exhale how? How? Strongly. Yes. Okay. So it's a strong exhale. That's getting to what Kapalabhati is. Kapalabhati is a strong exhale, right? Most of the time when you breathe, your inhales are dominant, your exhales are passive. This is reversing it. Your exhales become dominant and your inhales become passive. Okay? So it's reversing the action. That's what this kriya does. So set up nice and tall and place your hand on your abdomen right below your rib cage. Okay? Now, I want you to feel your diaphragm. So as you inhale, notice how your diaphragm moves out. Now make one explosive, strong exhale through the nose. Right? What do you feel your diaphragm doing, Rishi? Compressing or contracting? Okay. So what's happening in Kapalabhati is there is a strong contraction of the diaphragm. But then when you got finished, it kind of released again, didn't it? So when you do this dominant exhale, there's a bit of breath that's sit back in. Now, what Kapalabhati is not is kind of a sigh, right? There's an Italian term in music that, even though we're not teaching opera, called staccata. Staccata means sharp. So what's happening in Kapalabhati is you're making these sharp exhales over and over and over and over and over and over again. So here's what I want you to do. Take your second tissue I gave you. Now, bring that tissue up across the bridge of your nose. Hold on to these little corners. Now, inhale, and then make the tissue move by making an exhale through your nose. Don't blow through your mouth, through your nose. Okay, now move that tissue away from you about halfway. Aim your nostrils down at the edge of the tissue. Make the tissue move. Good. All right. Now, take that tissue, wad it up, put it to the side, take it with you, throw it in the garbage outside. Bhagavan doesn't want to have to pick it up. Okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to, watch me real quick. I'm going to do this, and then we're going to do it together. So I'm going to set up nice and tall. I'm going to inhale halfway, and then I'm going to make short exhales. Watch me, just watch me, watch me. If I demo something, watch me. Don't do it with me, watch me. Observe me, okay? So I'm going to exhale everything out. I'm going to inhale halfway. And I'm going to make short exhales. Because I'm letting the diaphragm flutter and move and contract, I'm not running out of air. If you're running out of air, it means you're doing that. Instead, you're letting the diaphragm act like a vacuum cleaner and kind of sip a little bit of air back in. Does that make sense? Okay, let's try it. Everybody set up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Try to let your face be soft. Try to let your shoulders be soft. Now inhale deeply through your nose. Fill up your lungs. Feel how expansive you are. Then exhale everything out through your nose. Feel how expansive you are. Now inhale halfway, only halfway, and on my clap, make short exhales. Exhale, 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 exhale. Exhale, 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 exhale. Start to slow it down and exhale everything out. And then gently open the eyes. Okay. And then how did that make you feel? What sensations did you feel? A relaxation kind of happening. What did you feel? A little lightheaded. Okay, that's the skull shining, the polishing of the skull. In the ancient text, it says that all of the saints had halos. They had halos because they were doing this skull polishing all the time. They were polishing the skull. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's interesting to say that like ancient yogis practiced this and it gave them a halo, okay? But it made them lightheaded. What's happening is you're putting more oxygen into the blood, and therefore you're getting a little bit of a buzz. You're having more oxygen put in. Why would I want to actually teach this in week 2? Because I want you to make this connection. Why would I want to teach this Kriya in week 2? When we're going to do forward folds, twist, and hip openers. So easy. So if I can learn to start to control my diaphragm, that means that when I go to fold forward, I can learn to start to lift the diaphragm in and up and come into a deeper forward fold. If I kind of just let the diaphragm hang out, I don't go as deep. So by learning to manipulate the internal muscles that you're unfamiliar with, because you've never thought about your diaphragm unless you're a horn player or a woodwind player or an opera singer, then maybe you've thought about diaphragm, or an actor. But if you're just a regular person, you've never thought about the diaphragm. You know, you've just been breathing since the day you were born, and the diaphragm works, and it's just an automatic function. So this actually teaches you how to manipulate the diaphragm, which will allow you to get deeper into certain asanas. Did anybody also feel a little warmer when you were doing this? So that is the other thing that will happen. It will heat you up. So you usually do Kapalabhati at the beginning of a practice instead of at the end of a practice where you would want a cooling Kriya. All right? We're going to continue heating up your body. Okay? So come and stand up. And what I'm going to teach you today is a Surya Namaskar. You're going to move your blankets off to the side, and you're going to place your blocks back at the front of your mat. Now, I teach this with blocks mainly because I want you to get used to using props. This is a fundamentals class. Fundamentals means I am teaching you the basics. I also teach you how to use the props in this class. Props actually do not mean that you have a beginner practice. Props actually means you have a very advanced practice. You have to know how to use a KitchenAid mixer to actually make a good cake, right? You can't just own a KitchenAid mixer. You have to know how to use a KitchenAid mixer, right? So that's the same thing when it comes to props. Blocks, belts, blankets, walls, chairs. It takes an advanced practitioner to actually know how to use it. So get used to using the props. Place the props place the blocks matching up the corners of your mat, okay, if they're not already. Then I want you to come and stand in between the blocks. Why do I want you to stand in between the blocks? Surya Namaskar means sun salute or sun salutation. In a sun salute or a sun salutation, you're mimicking the sun. Okay, this is a very important concept. Or you're not doing a sun salutation. What happens every morning? Where does it rise? Where does it rise? East. What happens every evening? Where does it set? And then what happens the next day? It rises again where? East. This is east for you. You're always trying to get back to east, so you're standing in the same place the next day. So you don't want to end up behind your blocks or in the middle of your mat. You're always kind of trying to get here to the top of the mat. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to just call out this sun salutation. We're going to experience it together. Then I'm going to break it down in parts, okay? So that I'll break down all of the bits and then we'll do it again together, okay? So exhale everything out, hands by the side, Tadasana. In week 1, we taught Tadasana, feet together. I'll just go over it really quickly. Feet are together. Tailbone is moving toward pubic bone. Gaze is at the horizon. The navel is lifting up. Okay. On the inhale, bring the hands together in undulating mudra. Extend your arms up toward the sky and look at your thumbs. Don't throw your head back. Just take your gaze up to your thumbs. Then exhale, hinge at your hip crease, fold forward and put your hands on the blocks. Uttanasana. Now your palms want to be flat and your fingers in line with your toes here. And use your blocks, especially if you can't get your hands on the feet. Now in the floor, soften the knees, look forward, shift weight into your left foot and step your right foot back into a long lunge. Now as you step back into lunge, look forward because the sun is always moving forward. It's never moving down. So if you're looking at your left foot, please look at the wall in front of you as if you're moving forward. Then exhale, step your left foot back, feet about hips width distance apart, lift your hips up and look back at your navel or your ankles, downward facing dog. Notice if your feet are together, bring your feet apart, about 2 fists. On your inhale, come forward to a plank and look at the wall in front of you. Here again, what are your hips doing? Engage your core. Then exhale, go back, downward facing dog, lift your hips again. On your inhale, start to peel your right foot off the floor, bring your right knee into your chest, step your right foot forward in between your blocks. If your right foot didn't make it, take your right hand, move your right ankle and foot forward. Exhale, left foot next to the right, feet together, fold over your legs, look at your shins, Uttanasana. Inhale, press into your hands, rise up, extend your arms, look up at your thumbs, asana, standing all the way up. Then exhale, hinge at your hip crease, fold forward, put your hands on the blocks, and drop your head and neck, Uttanasana. Inhale, soften your knees, shift weight into your right foot, step your left foot back into a long lunge, and look forward at the wall in front of you, not down. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog, lift the hips. On the inhale, come forward to a plank and look forward, not down. Exhale, go back, downward facing dog, look at your navel or your ankles. On your inhale, step your left foot forward in between your hands. Don't drag your foot. If your left foot didn't make it, move it there with your hand. Look forward, not down. Exhale, right foot next to left and fold over the legs, Uttanasana, good for you. Inhale, rise up with straight legs, extend the arms, see the prayer, asana. Exhale, hands by the side, Tadasana, mountain seat. Good, okay. So I always like to see what I'm kind of working with too and kind of what are habitual habits that we make. The one thing that I notice more than anything, and is the biggest mistake that's made in Surya Namaskars, is people look at the floor when you come forward to a plank or you come forward to a lunge. Now maybe you would do that at a fitness class at a gym. This is not a fitness class. Somebody's phone is on, please turn it off. Or somebody's little watches on. Please turn it off. The reason why you're never looking down at the floor is the sun is always moving forward in time and space. If you're looking down, that's downward energy. Surya Namaskars are upward and forward energy. Okay? So let's move your mat back to the wall. Okay? Mat all the way back to the wall. And you're just going to take your mat and put it over there on the other side of that pole. So you can go over there. You got all that space over there. All right. Dominga, can I use your mat? So everybody come over here and come over here where you can see me. So one of the things, there's two ways to measure a downward dog. And one way is to do it from a child seat. Child seat is a little more difficult to measure your downward dog, only because if people have long arms or short legs, the measurement gets off. One way to measure your down dog, to make sure your down dog is accurate and in the right shape, is your own body. My body, like I talked about last week when I talked about Uttanasana, there is a hinge at my hip to come into Uttanasana. Right? I don't really hinge at my rib cage. I don't really hinge at my thigh. But if I come on to the hands and knees, and I may have to make a few adjustments, and I come back to a down dog with my feet on the wall. I'm kind of on my tiptoes, like a ballet dancer. But then if I come forward to a plank and look forward, notice how I didn't move my hands or my feet. And then if I lift my hips back up, I go back into a down dog. I go into a isosceles triangle. But then I come forward to a plank, the feet and the hands don't move. Then, even from a down dog, as I step the foot forward in between the hands, the back foot pushes into the wall and I'm forward, I'm not down. I'm moving forward. Even as I step back into down dog, I move forward. Okay? So everybody come to the wall, set your blocks on the second setting. Why? Because that creates an outward rotation of your shoulders. Okay? And then what I want you to do is I want you to put your feet flat on the wall. Feet are flat on the wall. That's important. Your toes are tucked under. Now lift your knees up, and as you lift your knees up, push your chest back to the wall behind you. So you're in a short down dog. But measure your down dog. Maybe it's too short. Come forward to a plank. Keep your feet on the wall. Notice if you have to move your hands just forward a little bit because you're a little bit taller than that. There you go. Now look forward in your plank. Then lift your hips back up. Go back downward facing dog. Good. Good for you. Do that again. On your inhale, come forward to a plank and push your heels into the wall. Look forward and dome your upper back. Use your core strength. Then exhale, go back, downward facing dog, lift your hips. Okay. Now, on your inhale, step your right foot forward in between your blocks. Push your left heel into the wall and look forward at the wall in front of you, not at your right foot. Now push into your hands, lift your right foot off the floor, step back, put your foot on the wall, downward dog, lift your hips again. Okay. Now, peel your left foot off the wall and step your left foot forward in between your hands. Push your right heel into the wall, strong right leg, and look forward, not down. Then lift your right foot off the floor, step the right foot back, downward facing dog, lift the hips. Good. Now inhale, come forward to a plank. And exhale, drop down to your knees. All right. So good. So there, we just went over plank and a lunge, okay? So you now kind of understand the two energetics of plank and lunge. However, let's really look at downward facing dog. Okay? Downward facing dog, we could do a 3-hour workshop on. Downward facing dog is very complicated. Everybody say Adho Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. I know, it's a hard one. So, Adho means downward. Mukha is face. Shvan is a hound. It's not a dog. It actually means hound. So it's a wild dog. Seat. So it's a dog that's stretching. Now what's happening in downward dog is that there's energy moving up the front of your body, stretching the outside of your arms, stretching through the belly. The energy is getting all the way up to the hips, and then it's stretching back down. But there's a lifting up through the front of the legs. So in a lot of places, they will teach downward dog with their feet on the floor. Here we don't teach downward dog with the feet on the floor. So everybody, Dominga, can I use your mat again since you have a wall? Take your blocks and put your blocks against the wall like this on the second setting. Okay? Then what I want you to do is take you guys, why don't you guys just come over here? You can come over here and watch me because it's hard to see me with everybody kind of spread out all over the room like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my third block again because I want some understanding what's happening in my adductors, the inner thighs, and my pelvis. Okay? I'm going to put the block all the way up as high as I can. I'm going to put the balls of the feet onto the toes on the floor, the balls of the feet on the block. Now, I'm going to push back and kind of bow down, get my ears in line with my arms as if I'm bowing down to the pasha, right? But then I'm going to push into my hands and lift my knees up. I'm going to step my heels onto the blocks. Now I'm going to bend the knees just a little bit and squeeze the block and lift the sit bones and then push into the hands and try to pull the ribs in. And I'm going to breathe. Now this is actually activating the back of the body, which means my sit bones are lifting up. So I'm getting a hamstring stretch, but it's coming all the way up to where the attachment is in the sit bones. And I'm pushing down through my heels. My quadriceps are lifting up and my shins are lifting up. And this is just kind of dealing with the back of the body. So everybody try that real quick. Okay? Put your toes on the block. And then your heels are going to be up in the air. Put your block in between your thighs as high as you can get it. So you can kind of feel that little pelvic tilt we're talking about. Now, push your seat back towards your heels. First, everybody, come onto your knees again. Try that again. Push your butt back towards your heels and reach your arms forward so your ears are in line with your arms. Like you're bowing down to the pasha, but you're not putting your forearms down. Now, press into your hands and lift your knees up. Push your chest back, Dominga, as you do that. Don't come forward, Dominga. Do that again. I want you to get used to not bringing your shoulders forward. Lift up from your hips. Don't come forward. Good. Now, walk your feet forward so your heels are on the edge of the block. Like you're in a little 2-inch high heel shoe. And your foot is a little bit further forward. So you're going to just bring your heel right onto the edge of the block. So walk forward just a little bit. Now, bend your knees a little bit. And really squeeze the block and try to tilt your pelvis up a little bit like you're J-Lo or Kim Kardashian, right? Then don't extend your legs, but actually try to push your chest back, lifting up more. So you're going to bend your knees a little bit. And then that's going to allow you to push your chest back because of the tightness in your hips. That means that you're like going to round when you do that. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale 1. Press. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale, come down. All right. Drop down to your knees. Great. How did that feel? What did that feel like, John? It felt easier to lift up and push back. So there's that energy. But now let's talk about the front of the body. Okay, one of the hardest things is to understand what the hands are doing. The hands are just like your feet. The hands have 3 arches. There's an arch at my wrist. There's an arch in the middle of my palm. There's an arch right here at the back, right here where this collapses. If I'm collapsing in the outside of the hands because I'm curling the hand, I'm going to end up with wrist pain. Okay? So, everybody, this time, take your blocks. Can I use yours? Again, I'll just use yours. You're going to take your blocks and you're going to put them against the wall like this. Okay? Can you ask Bob to turn down the heat in here? So now, everybody come over here and look at me real quick. Okay? Because here again, I want you to see what I'm doing. Now, in downward dog, there is an inward rotation of your forearm, but an external rotation of your upper arm bone. And the only way I can kind of figure out what's going on is what my hands are doing. So everybody, extend your arms out in front of you. Put your fingers toward the ceiling. Notice how that creates an inward rotation. Take your right hand to your left upper arm bone. Right hand to left upper arm bone and feel this inward rotation. Now, turn your fingers out and then take your right hand to your upper left arm bone and feel how that creates an outward rotation of your muscle. Do you feel the difference? Okay, so whatever my hand and my fingers are doing, I'm doing in my shoulders. Does that make sense? Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you come and I'm going to have you grab the block like this. Okay? That way, with the thumb on the inside and the finger on the outside, inward rotation, outward rotation, right? Automatically happens because of how I'm grabbing the block. I don't even have to think about it anymore, right? I'm going to put the blocks against the wall. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep my toes tucked under. I'm going to bow down a little bit. Now, the key here is to push the blocks into the wall. So I don't move forward to lift up, but actually I press into the index knuckles and lift the knees up, extending the legs. I don't have to lock the knees because that's going to throw me forward. You see what just happened to me? If I bend the knees a little bit, I can still lift the sit bones up, extend through the arms, and pull the lower ribs in. Okay? So everybody try that. So misconception, you don't have to lock your knees. All right? A little bit knee is good here. So grab the blocks, thumb on the inside, index finger on the outside. Set it up again. Put your knees down. Put your knees down. Notice what I did. Push your butt to your seat. Reach your arms forward so your ears are in line with your arms. Then push into your index knuckle and start to lift your knees up without moving your shoulders forward. As you lift your knees up, try not to lock your knee joint, but actually bend a little bit and then push your chest back and feel the stretch happening through the side of your body, through the side flanks. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Your hands may be a little too close. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale, come down. All right. All right. Now, come back to the front of your mat and bring your blocks with you. How did that feel through the front of your body? A lot less heaviness? Good. It felt more architecturally sound. Yes. What did you feel? Yeah, a lot more strength in the back. Okay, so like I said, it's a kind of moving from the front to the back and then down, but then the underbody's moving up toward the center again. So move your mats a little bit away from the wall, okay? You can come away from the wall. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the blocks to the side, okay? I'm going to put the blocks to the side. I'm going to put all this together. And here again, a lot of times what I'll notice is people will try to skip steps. The steps that I'm giving you is so that you learn to measure your own body. Okay, it's a measurement system. So if you just come onto your hands and knees and throw your legs back into down dog, your measurement's going to be off every time. So take the time to measure yourself. Your body is a perfect measurement of itself all the way around. In other words, most people don't know that the inside of my pants leg is the same as my arm length, right? That I can actually take the waistband of my pants and fold my pants in half and wrap it around my neck, and it will be the size of my neck. The body keeps reproducing its own measurements over and over and over and over and over again. So in asana, you can start to measure out the proportions of your own body if you just take the time to measure it. It's very hard to make a cake if you don't measure the flour. You just can't dump flour into the bowl. You got to measure the flour, right? So that's how you bake. You measure it, okay? Asana is more like baking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come onto my hands and knees. I'm going to tuck the toes under. I'm going to walk the arms forward. Here again, I'm already going to turn my hands out. I'm going to press into the index knuckle and my fingers are spread. Because I want you to do this now without a block. Notice the inward rotation, outward rotation. I'm going to press down, and as I press down, I'm going to hydra lift my knees up. Notice my knees did not lock, and I didn't try to get my heels on the ground. I kept the knees bent so I could push back and lift up. Now, from here, I should be able to come out to a plank without even moving hands or feet. Then I should be able to lift back up into a downward dog from plank. So everybody try that. Come onto your hands and knees. Bring your knees underneath your hips. Tuck your toes under. Push your seat back toward your heels and reach your arms forward as far as you can reach them. Check your hands out. Are your hands turned slightly out? Now press into your index knuckle. Now, without moving your shoulders and head forward, lift your knees up like a hydra lift. Yeah. Now notice if you locked your knees immediately. Bend your knees a little. Put a little softness in them and push your chest back. Your ears are in line with your arms. Good, everybody. That looks so good. Now on your inhale, come forward to a plank. Notice how it's a perfect measurement. Look at the wall in front of you, not at the floor. Then go back, downward facing dog. Lift your hips again. Now I'm going to see if you need a block or not. On your inhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. If your right foot didn't make it and you had to lift your hands up to get there, you need blocks. Now push into your hands, lift your right foot off the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Notice if you're on your thumbs, you need blocks. Peel your left foot off the floor, step your left foot forward in between your hands. If your foot didn't make it in between your hands and you had to lift your hands up, you need blocks. That's the truth. Now press into your hands, lift your foot, step back, downward dog. Good. Then come forward to a plank and exhale, drop down to your knees. All right. Come stand up. So if I'm in a Surya Namaskar and my foot doesn't make it in between my hands, or I have to lift my hands up to get the foot forward, then I need blocks. But here's one more thing I'm going to give you to help you step forward and back. Remember when we did that thing called Kapalabhati? Right? Do you remember it? What did I tell you about Kapalabhati? I know, but what did I tell you about the diaphragm? You have to pull it up. Right, exactly. So if I'm looking to step forward and back, how can I apply this idea of the diaphragm that we did with Kapalabhati? We're going to come back to it. So I may use blocks. That's nice. I'm going to lift the hips up. Now, as I step forward, watch. I'm going to pull my ribs in. I'm going to pull the diaphragm up, and I'm going to step forward. When I step back, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull the diaphragm in and up, and I'm going to step back. Okay? If I just stay here and I try to step forward, I don't go but to this there. So the diaphragm becomes part of stepping forward and back. Okay? So put your blocks like this on the second setting. This is just the magic key to a sun salutation. If you want to use the second height, you can. But just start with this first height. Now, put your hands on the blocks. Come onto your hands and knees. Push your seat back to your heels, tucking your toes under. Measure your down dog. Then lift your knees up. Come into a downward dog. Lift your knees up. Okay? All right. Now, as you lift your knees up, start to look forward. Lift your ribs up into your body. Lift your diaphragm up and step your right foot forward in between your blocks. There. Yes. Now, lift your diaphragm up and pull your ribs in and step your right foot back. Downward dog. Don't drag your foot. Now, step your left foot forward in between your blocks, but you got to pull your diaphragm in and your ribs in. Yeah, look at there. And then step your left foot back, downward facing dog. Good. Now, on your inhale, step your right foot forward in between your blocks. Pull your ribs in to get there. Now, step your left foot next to your right and fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Good. And then rise all the way up, extend your arms. See your prayer. And then exhale, hands by the side, Tadasana. So like this one little sun salutation, there's a lot of parts to it. It's a lot of moving stuff going on. You got a plank, you got down dog, you got lunge, you got stepping forward and back. Then the last thing is Urvahasana. Urvahasana means extended arms. Now, extended arms, I'm going to be honest, this is a lot of just personal preference, but there are some differences. I personally like in Tadasana, bring my hands together in undulating mudra and extend from the central channel of my body, going forward and back. There is nothing wrong with this right here. People do this all the time. What I would say is that if you're in a crowded class, don't do this with your neighbor standing by. It freaks them out. So be aware of your body in space, right? I've seen that happen, and it just kind of freaks the other person out. But what you do want is as you rise up and you extend, you want to have the wrist in line with the shoulders. It's not really this kind of a thing, right? It's not a back bend. It's still a forward fold and a lengthening of the outside of the body, the serratus, the lateral muscles, because we're working on forward folds. So it's a very linear, not a very back bendy, it's a very linear Surya Namaskar, this one. Does that make sense? So everybody, let's try that. Standing in Tadasana. Let's just try the two different versions. First, bring your hands together in prayer and just extend your arms straight up and look up at your thumbs. Don't throw your head back. Notice if you had to lift your chin, lower your chin. Yeah, just take your eyes up there. Then bring your hands to the central channel of your body, hinge at your hip crease, fold forward, put your hands on the floor blocks. Now, stand up, bring your hands to the central channel of your body and extend your arms. And just take your gaze up to your thumbs. And then hands by the side to Tadasana. Now let's try it with a more open shoulder. With your hands by your side, lift your arms up like you're making an Easter egg. And then bring your hands together. Then bring your hands back down as if you're swan diving and put your hands by your feet. Then on your inhale, lift up, bring your hands together, making a kind of oval shape. And then exhale, hands by the side to Tadasana. Good. Good for you. So those are just the different, both of them are asana. Both of them are right. Okay? Your choice. Your choice. All right? Any questions? Okay, no questions. This is like a wedding. If there's nobody going to object, we're going to move forward. Okay. So we're going to put this all together, and we're now going to do that sun salutation from beginning to end. I've taught you all the parts, okay? So standing in between your blocks, Tadasana, mountain seat, big toes and heels touch, hands are by the side, gaze is at the horizon, and you're looking forward, like you're getting ready to rise. The sun is about to rise, and you're going to travel. On the inhale, bring the hands together in prayer. Extend the arms, asana. Look up at your thumbs. Then exhale, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Press your palms into the floor of blocks. Inhale, soften the knees. Shift weight into the left foot. Step the right foot back into a long lunge and look forward, not down. Exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Look at your navel or your ankles. On your inhale, come forward to a plank and look at the wall in front of you. Push through the heels and the crown of the head. Exhale, go back, downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Now here comes the hard part. On your inhale, peel your right foot off the floor. Step your right foot forward in between your blocks. Look forward, not down. Exhale the left foot next to the right and fold over your legs. Look at your shins or your ankles. On your inhale, rise up with straight legs, extend your arms, look up at your thumbs, asana. Then exhale, bring the hands through the central channel of the body, fold forward, Uttanasana. You got the left side to do. Inhale, soften the knees, shift weight into the right foot, step the left foot back into a long lunge and look forward. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift the hips, look at the navel or the ankles. Inhale, come forward to a plank, look at the wall in front of you in plank. Exhale, go back, downward facing dog, lift the hips. On the inhale, peel the left foot forward off the floor, step the left foot in between the hands, look forward, not down. Exhale, right foot meets left and fold, look at your shins, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up with straight legs, extend your arms, look at your thumbs. Exhale, hands by the side, Tadasana, mountain seat. Yay! All right, and that looked fantastic. Any questions about Surya Namaskar? If I use the platform? Yes. So that's a good question. So think of this. So a lot of times people will tell you to roll up. I actually think that's a terrible idea. First of all, if I do this, like if I really develop a yoga practice every day of my life, because that's really the way you should practice yoga. Yoga should be practiced as a daily practice. If I do a sun salutation every day, and I come here, and every day I roll up, I'm going to throw my back out finally. And when I roll up, I never learn to use the core. Coming forward to a plank is core work. Stepping forward and back is core work. Folding forward and standing up is core work. I like to describe it. How many people have ever lifted weights? Raise your hands if you lifted weights. Okay. So in weightlifting, there's this thing called a deadlift, right? Deadlifts are all about core, right? So I have a big weight in front of me, and I pick it up and I lower it like this. And I learn to engage here and here so that I don't throw my back out. So this is nothing more than a deadlift. It's a yoga deadlift. That's all it is. So you're not rolling up. Okay? That's important. And I mean, I might, in an open class, I might tell students in the very beginning to have spinal awareness, but it's a very different reason why I would do it. I might say in the beginning of a class, maybe we did like a down dog and a forward fold, and I would say, bend your knees and roll up one vertebrae at a time. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm actually trying to get them to learn to engage the spine and learn that there's individual vertebrae. It's a different thing altogether, right? I'm trying to get you to feel the spine. But in a sun salutation, that would break the rhythm and the cadence of the sun salutation. Right. Okay. Good. Any other questions? All right. So if I was an old yogi back in the good old days, 2,000 years ago, I would have gotten up in the morning, I would have done my Kapalabhati, I would have done my Kriya, then I would have done some sun salutations facing the rising sun, and then I would have sat down on the banks of the river and I would have done Paschimottanasana. Everybody say Paschimottanasana. Paschimottanasana translates into intense stretch of the western side of the body. Yoga is a sister science to Ayurvedic medicine. In Ayurveda medicine, the front of the body is the east, the back of the body is the west, the soles of the feet are the south, and the top of the head is the north. Same thing in yoga. So I'm stretching the back of the western side of the body. It's a forward fold. That's what Paschimottanasana means. Intense forward fold. So everybody, come and sit down. Now, take one of your blankets, roll this blanket up like you're going camping. Okay? And then put that blanket underneath your knees. And you're going to just rest your knees on that blanket. Okay? Now, with your knees bent, we're going to do this several ways. With your knees bent a little bit, I want you to rock back and forth. Can you feel those two bony bones in your butt and the big muscles? Those are your sit bones. You're sitting on your sit bones. So when you sit down, you're not rolling back on your sacrum, right? So it's not relaxing back. You're actually setting up tall so that your shoulders are over your hips. Now, take your belt and put your belt around the ball of your foot, just under your toes. So notice if you went down to your arch, bring it up underneath your little toes, right at that crease right there. Then you can walk your hands down a little bit so your arms are extended. And I would say, if you can't touch the outside of the foot, that's fine. I would rather you just have the hands extended. Now take a moment. Notice if you're already trying to get here, I want you to lift your chest and shoulders up one moment. And now breathe, and as you breathe in deeply, feel how your diaphragm expanded down and you had less space. Now exhale. Pull your diaphragm in and up, and then bend your elbows and move your abdomen onto your thighs. And then look past your big toes. Try to keep moving forward instead of downward. If you can reach out and hold on to the outside of your foot. Some of you are already there. That's perfectly fine. But try to keep pulling yourself forward instead of looking at your own crotch. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. Now inhale, lift up. Now, where did you feel this? More here. Didn't really feel it here, did you? Okay, that's interesting. Because we put the roll here, we kind of stopped the stretch from happening in the calves. It's kind of only happening in the hamstring from behind the knee joint to the sit bones. If you guys don't know, the hamstrings are a long chain, a post-anterior chain in the back of your leg. It attaches in 4 places. It attaches at the sit bone where I told you to feel it. Then it attaches above your knee joint. Then it reattaches. There's a little break at the knee joint. Then it reattaches at the bottom of the knee joint to the Achilles heel. Okay? So when we talk about tightness in the hamstrings, you may find that some people have tightness in the top where it attaches into the sit bones. Some people will have tightness through here. Other people will have tightness in the calf. And all through here, they're open. Because it's one long line of energy, it's actually easy to focus on where we're stretching because it doesn't wrap around your body. It doesn't go under a muscle or over a muscle. It's straight down. It's like a straight line going down your back of your leg. Okay? Now, try this. Take your rolled up blanket, move it forward. Put your heels, not your ankle bone, but your heels. So that's your ankle bone. So move it back so your heels are in the middle of it. Because now what you want to do is you don't want it at your ankle. You want it underneath your heels. That way you can pull your toes back. John, move your feet back a little. Move the blanket in toward the center of the room. So I want it just underneath the heel. Like the heel, like where the back of your sneakers are. Not where your socks are on your ankle, okay? Notice if you all of a sudden just want to die, go back, right? So now, here again, just put your hands by your hips and set up tall. Find your sit bones again. Now, take your belt, put the belt around the ball of your foot. This is going to feel very different this time. Now, lift and inhale. Feel your diaphragm expand. Now, exhale everything out. And pull your belly in and try to pull yourself forward instead of downward. And look past your toes. Don't look at your kneecaps. Remember, you're moving forward. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Good inhale. Lift up. And exhale, hands by the hips. All right, Domingo, where did you feel that? All the way through the bottom part of the leg. Is that what everybody else felt? You felt it more down through here now, all of a sudden. Underneath the knee even more. Whereas when the blanket was underneath the knee, you didn't feel it there. Yeah. So now you're really engaging the whole length of the leg. Okay? Let's try this. Everybody, take your blanket. Now remember, you're going to come to the front of the edge of your mat. Pretend like this is my short end. I'm going to just pretend that that's the short end. And you can have it this way or the wide way. It doesn't matter for this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come sit close to the cut edge of my mat. Okay? And I'm going to put my heels on the mat, on the blanket. Okay? Then I'm going to take the belt. And I'm going to put the belt around the ball of my foot. And already, the deal, is everybody's abdomen touching their thighs? Put your abdomen on your thighs, right? And if you're a little thick like me, it's pretty easy. But if you're skinny, you may have to move yourself forward and lift your chest up to get your abdomen on your thighs. The goal of this game, don't let your abdomen leave your thighs. As soon as your abdomen and your thighs have space, don't extend your legs any further. Some of you are going to be able to go all the way out. That's okay. Others are not. Now, lift up through your chest. Breathe in. Notice how your diaphragm expanded. Now exhale everything out. Notice how you can get your belly on your thighs more on the exhale. Now start to slide your feet forward. Don't let your chest and your abdomen leave your thighs. Fold forward. Maybe you can hold on to your feet, but your belly wants to touch your thighs. Your chest wants to reach down and touch your knee joints. And look forward, because that now is stretching your upper back. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Good. Inhale. Lift all the way up. And exhale, hands by your hips. How did that feel? What was that like? And a lot of stretching going on, right? Yes. Did anybody feel it also in your back? A little bit. So the back is also stretching. It's the intense stretch of the western side of your body. So it's from the nape of your neck all the way down to your heels. So if you felt the stretch happening across your lateral muscles, across these, the back muscles, that is okay. Or even in the lower back, you're supposed to feel that there. Okay? Any questions about Paschimottanasana? Relax. Try to pull the shoulders down. That's why also I say look forward. If you look forward, that lifts your head up a little bit and the shoulders relax. Where if you look down, you're going to bring your ears, you're going to have shoulders, earring shoulders, right? Your shoulders and earrings are going to be one, all right? Okay, so let's move on. Everybody say Janu Shirshasana. Janu Shirshasana means head, knee, seat. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your blanket, put it to the side, over to the left, bend your left knee into your chest, open up your left knee and put your left foot on the inside of your right thigh. Now your right leg is extended out. And what you're going to find is in an asymmetrical asana, it may be easier to fold forward. Now pull your right toes back. If your left knee is high off the ground, put a little blanket underneath your left knee. But you don't want to feel like you're trying to keep your left leg up in the air. You want to have it be able to relax. There is a minor hip opener that's happening here, but it's not major. So instead of pushing your hand into your knee, put a blanket underneath your knee. That's what you want to do. That was going to be more supportive for you. Yes. Now, flex your foot, lift your head and chest. Reach out, hold on to your right foot. Use your belt if you can't reach it. Now, do that same thing. Inhale. Feel how your belly expands. But then on your exhale, see if you can put your chin on your toes. So you're looking at your toes and drop your shoulders down your back. Don't let your shoulders come up near your earlobes. Inhale. Exhale 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3, inhale. Exhale 4, inhale. Exhale 5, good for you. Now on your inhale, lift your left knee up and lift your head and chest up at the same time and extend your left leg out in front of you. Now, if we look at the hip socket, this is very important. The knee likes to come into the chest and open and lift up and come open. It doesn't like doing this right here. It can do this, and you see this a lot in modern dance, where people open the hip up to the side kind of from an extension. Every modern dancer I know at 40 years old needs a hip replacement. Because this is not a true ball and socket, right? Your hip joint is not a true ball and socket. It's a hinge ball and socket. The only real true ball and socket you have is your shoulders. It will go anywhere you want it to go except in the middle of your body. But it's truly like every direction. The knee, if you've ever seen like a triple hinge for a door, where it will like fan out, that's what your hip is like. The hip can come in, it can open out. It likes to lift up, it likes to extend. So as you're doing this over and over again, don't do that. Do this and then this. Does that make sense? So do that for me. Lift your knee up and extend. Yes. And then go out. And we all have habits of just kind of flopping the knees out to the side. Here again, like if you were doing a yoga practice every day and you did that every day, you would kind of maybe wear off the socket after about 20 years, like a dancer, okay? So bend your right knee into your chest. Give your right knee a hug. Then open up your right knee. Put your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Yeah. Then, if you need to, put a little padding underneath your right knee. That's okay. That way you're not supporting it and hanging and like clenching the muscle. Then twist your torso over your left leg. Reach out, hold onto your left foot, or use your belt. Here again, if you're using your belt, try not to round your upper back. Now, breathe in. Feel your belly expand, but then as you exhale and the diaphragm lifts up, feel how you can move further into it on the exhale because the diaphragm moved. Good. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Good. Now on your inhale, lift your head and chest up. Take your hand to the outside of your knee. Lift your knee up and then extend your leg. Good for you. All right. Everybody say Adva Matsyendrasana. Adva Matsyendrasana means half man, half lord of the fish seat. We did it as a warm-up. We're going to do a twist a little deeper, okay? So everybody, what I want you to do is I want you to take a block and put a block behind you on the right side, okay? And I want you to put the block against your sacrum, okay? So you're actually going to have the block let you know if you're leaning back, whether you're setting up or not, okay? And have it on this longer length. Does that make sense? Yeah. So your sacrum's right in the center. It's what doesn't move. It's the vertebrae that doesn't move. Now extend both your legs out in front of you, okay? Now bend your right knee into your chest. Put your right foot on the outside of your left knee. Now bend your left knee and bring your left heel next to your right hip. And then sit back down with your sacrum against the block. Now you don't want to sit on the heel, right? The heel wants to be independent from the hip. And John, if you're like kind of leaning to the left, put more weight into your right hip. Now lift your left arm up alongside your left ear. Now twist and bring your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. Now bring your right hand behind you and put your right heel of your wrist against the block, against the edge of the block, right in the middle of your back. Now push into the floor and look over your right shoulder. So that's as far as your hand should come back behind you. If you've ever gone into a class and you kind of reached all the way back for the wall, it's really more about 6 inches. Inhale. Exhale 1. Yeah. Inhale. Now look over there. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Good. Inhale. Exhale 5. Now inhale, come back to center. Look toward the center of the room. Now your hips are closed. Counter twist to the left. Take your left hand behind you, but keep your shoulders over your hips. Don't lean. Counter twist your spine. Yeah, perfect. Now come back to center. Now I'm going to teach this a little different today. I've never actually taught it this way. Everybody say Agni Stambhasana. Agni Stambhasana means fire log seat. And a lot of times in an open class, you go from Adva Matsyendrasana to Agni Stambhasana immediately. So I thought maybe we should teach this in fundamentals this way. So we're just going to go into the next asana instead of breaking them apart. We're going to put the two of them together. So what you're going to do is, everybody can see me here, right? So you're going to keep the right foot there, but you're going to move your left knee forward so that your left shin is parallel to the cut edge of your mat. Then you're going to open up your right knee and put your right knee on your left ankle and your right ankle on your left knee. Then you're going to pull your toes toward each other. Put your hands on the floor. Put your hands on the floor. And like push down into your hands. Now, lengthen and then fold forward. Walk your hands forward. Oh, there you go. Good. Now, here's the thing about Agni Stambhasana is it's sometimes called ankle to knee because you want ankles and knees matching up. So if you kind of can see the sole of your foot, you're kind of coming into a Padmasana or a lotus. You don't want to come into Padmasana. You don't want to twist the knee joint. Okay? So left shin moves forward, then right knee opens up, and right knee comes on left ankle, and left ankle is on right knee. Now, if you have tight hips, watch this. Watch this, Dominga. Don't get ahead of Daddy. All right? Now, bring both your hands over to the right. Lean a little into your right hip. Now, walk your hands forward and fold. Relax, 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 relax. Yes, then fold forward. I know, but flex your feet. Don't let them point. Flex. And breathe. But see how her hip came down? It came down. If you take both your hands over to the right, then lean into your right hip. Lean into it. Now walk your hands toward the center of the room and fold over the center of your legs. It will open up the hip. Good. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale 1. I know. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Good. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Good. On your inhale, lift your head and chest. Lift your right knee up. Extend your right leg. Lift your left knee up. Extend your left leg. Oh, I know. Everybody's like, I'm going to tell you, sometimes I call it thighs on fire. Okay? So let's try the other side. Bend your left knee. Put your left foot on the outside of your right. So we're going to go back to Ardha Matsyendrasana. Now, bend your right knee and bring your right heel to the outside of your left hip. But you don't want to sit on it. It wants to be independent from the hip, so you can actually sit the hip down. And put that foot down. Now lift the right arm up, and then bring the right elbow on the outside of the left thigh, and bring the left hand behind you. Now here again, your block is against your sacrum. Your wrist is against the block. And you're going to lift up and look back. Exhale 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Now look all the way back. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Good. Inhale. Come back to center. And then counter twist over to the right, but keep your shoulders over the hips. Then inhale, come back to center. This time, move your right shin, your bottom shin forward until your right shin is parallel to the front edge of your mat. Now just open up your left knee and put your left ankle on your right ankle. Left knee on your right ankle. And your left ankle's on your right knee. Yeah. Now, flex your feet and then take both your hands over to the left. Lean into your left hip a little bit. And then walk your hands forward in toward the center of the room. Keep dorsal flexing your feet, toes toward each other. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale 1. Good. Inhale. So this leg's supposed to be parallel. Exhale 2. There. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Isn't this fun? Inhale. Exhale 5. On your inhale, lift all the way up. Lift your left knee up. Extend your left leg. And exhale, extend your right leg. Oh my God. Doesn't that feel nice? Everybody's hips are going to be happy tonight. Okay. Now, we're going to teach a shoulder stand. Salamba Saravangasana. Everybody say Salamba Saravangasana. Salambasaravagasa translates in Sanskrit to all supported limb seat, but we call it a shoulder stand because you're balancing on your shoulders and the back of your head, okay? And your elbows. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a modified version of this today. And I like to sometimes teach this modified version without blankets at first, mainly because you learned Viparina Karani last week. So everybody come back to the wall with your mat. And for those of you who are new, you're just going to bring the short edge of your mat to the wall. Okay? All the way back. Now, Viparina Karani, if you didn't practice Viparina Karani last week, Dominga, can I use your mat again? Viparina Karani translates into attitude reversal, but it starts out as an L shape or a 90-degree angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit. This is really important. I'm going to sit at the edge of my mat. I'm going to take my left hand or my right hand, the hand near the wall behind me. I'm going to roll over into the middle of the mat and take my legs up the wall. Okay, so everybody start there. Come and lay down on your mat, on your back, with your legs up the wall, and you're going to be in the middle of your mat. So notice how I did it, and notice if you're doing it a different way. Yes, so come sit on the edge of your mat. Now take that hand behind you, put it on the floor, and then roll over onto your back, take your legs up the wall. Good. So you want your tush, your behind, touching the wall. This is super important. If your behind is away from the wall, scoot yourself forward so your tush touches the wall in a 90-degree angle. Now, from here, this looks good, everybody. Bend both your knees and put your feet flat on the wall. Now, put your hands on the floor next to your hips. Push into your hands and lift your hips off the floor and move your pelvis towards your face. So just like you did kind of in a downward dog, you're going to push down and lift up. Now everybody touch the wall with your fingertips. Yeah, and if you're like, you can move your belly toward us a little bit, lifting your hips a little higher. Now clasp your hands together in a fist behind your back. Make one fist and get your elbows a little closer together. Then release the fist and put your hands on either side of your spinal column with your fingers pointing up toward the ceiling. So you're not going to have a fist anymore. And the goal of doing this was to get the elbows a little closer together, and so that you're balancing on your elbows. Now, from here, lift your right leg up into the air. Okay? Yeah. Now, try to bring your right ankle in line with your hip. Now put your right foot on the wall. Lift your left leg into the air. Try not to bring your left toes over your head, but line your ankle up with your hip. So hip and ankle. Now lift your right foot off the wall and bring it next to the left, and both legs up into the air. Good for you. Don't look around, look at the ceiling. Look up at the ceiling. Don't look over there. Now, this is going to be super easy. Bend your knees and bring your knees onto your forehead. Don't look sideways. Now, as you bring your knees onto your forehead, try to put your toes on the ground behind your head. Maybe. Okay, this is a forward fold. It's like doing Paschimottanasana upside down. Now, bend your knees, bring your heels toward your seat. Then extend your legs back up toward the sky. Yeah, straight up toward the sky. Good. Then put your feet on the wall. Then remove your hands from your back. Lower down one vertebrae at a time until your hips come down. Good for you. All right, that's a little mini shoulder stand. Now bring your knees into your chest. Give your knees a hug. And roll over onto your back. I'm sorry, onto your, come back, come up. And then, as you come up, I want you to take a blanket, and I want you to take your blanket that you rolled up like you were going camping, and roll it up again like you're going camping. Okay? And then you want it in a nice tight little sausage. So it's kind of, so what I like to do is sometimes, if it started in a quarter, take it into that, and then that way it doesn't come unrolled on you so easily. Okay? Then place the blanket. So what I want to do is I want to put my first vertebrae on the rolled up edge. So I'm going to lay down so that I can let my head drop back and I can bring the top of the head to the floor. And I'm going to have my palms facing upward. And I'm going to feel a stretch in my throat and in my chest. Now push into your elbows a little bit and then come onto the top of your head. So look back at the wall behind you or toward the center of the room. And lift up a little bit more so you're opening up through. So you need to go back a little bit more. Yep. Don't move. No. Your blanket was in the right place. Your body wasn't. Now, lift up. Take back head. There you go. This is called Matsya Asana. Like we had Adva Matsyendrasana, half man, half fish. This is just a fish. Okay? And breathe. Then press into your elbows. Bring your chin into your chest. Then bend your knees into your chest. Roll over to one side. Move the blanket out from underneath your spine. Then put the blanket underneath your knees. Put the blanket underneath your knees like we did in Paschimottanasana. And then laying down on your back, preparing for Shavasana, corpse seat. Okay, so now you get to relax. You don't really want your feet touching the wall, so if you're touching the wall, kind of move away from a little bit. And now try to allow your body to relax. Let your body become heavy. And I'm going to guide you through a relaxation. So starting with your toes, tell yourself, toes, relax. Ankles, relax. Shins, relax. Knees, relax. Thighs, relax. Hips and buttocks, relax. Abdomen, relax. Chest and upper back, relax. Shoulders, relax. Throat, relax. The jaw relaxes. And the teeth move away from each other. The nostrils relax. The eyes sink deeper into the skull and relax. The forehead relaxes. The crown of the head relaxes. Even the hairs on the head relax. And finally you realize the whole body has relaxed. Gently starts to deepen the breath. By means of the breath, make small movements with the fingers and toes. Stretch the arms overhead and stretch the arms and legs in opposite directions. And gently bend the knees into the chest, giving the knees a hug. And then roll over to the right side. And then pressing the left palm into the floor, lift the torso up And come up to a seated position. And just take a moment, sit up nice and tall. Close the eyes. Just inhale deeply through the nose. And exhale everything out through the nose. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. And then join the hands together in undulating mudra. And bow the head slightly, sealing the practice. And thank you all for coming today. Thank you so much. And don't forget that tomorrow we only have 2 classes. We have a open class at 10 o'clock, and there's the fundamentals again at 10 o'clock, and then we're off for the day because it's Easter. And there, a lot of times when you come to fundamentals, you don't really kind of know what's going on in the studio, but like sometimes we have stuff that's perfect for everybody here, even if you're starting a yoga practice. Sometimes we have workshops that are like crazy workshops, like back bending into the future, and it's like all hard back bends. But this month we have on the 23rd, my friend Hector, who's an herbalist, is going to be doing Enhance Your Practice with Herbs. And so it's all going to be like different kinds of herbs, but like kitchen, the kind of things you can get at the store. And he's going to talk about how indigenous people have used herbs for centuries in spiritual practices. So, and then I think you're going to end up making an herbal tea and maybe herbal incense. I don't know. He's going to have you make some stuff. And then also on April the 29th and 30th, my friend Brent Bevel will be here for 2 days. That's a Saturday and Sunday. And he's doing a level 1 and level 2 Reiki training. Reiki is energy healing. You don't do any asanas. You're not going to have to do anything, but you are going to become more intuitive to the energy in your body and the energy in the universe, and start to learn to channel that to heal yourself and to heal other people. There's a level 3 Reiki Master program, which he's going to do later on in the year. Okay, so the goal is to actually certify people in Reiki training. So if you ever had any interest in healing, spiritual healing, energy healing, this is a workshop for you. Everything else, check out the bulletin board. There's all kinds of cool stuff going on. And if you're here on ClassPass is wonderful, but sometimes it's just more fun to join the studio and then go through all the program all the time. Not just when ClassPass says you can come. All right, because it is a course. Yeah. So next week we'll be doing back bends. Be love, be vegan. I will see you next time.